Welcome to the Career Coaching Experience. This is the first ever reality show based on the field of executive career coaching. My name is Rob Houghton, and I'm an international licensed career and life coach by the CLC and ICF federations. I'm also president of Management Recruiters at Fairfax, one of the largest executive search firms on the East Coast since 2003. This reality show is a 10-part series that will feature New York City-based Daniella Rinaldo as our weekly guest. You will see firsthand how I coach and guide Daniella on this exciting journey of self-discovery so that she can gain new insights, confidence, and a greater self-awareness to become the master of her own professional destiny. Will Daniella find that dream job, or will she decide to stay at her current firm? Who knows? Join us for this informative, inspiring, and entertaining journey. So here's some takeaways from this 10-part series. Takeaways from this season. Experience the importance of embarking on a journey of self-discovery to determine your own career goals from within. Experience the power of extreme ownership in your career. Experience how to deal effectively with workplace conflict. Experience why making a career move is not always the right move. Experience how you can find out exactly who you are and what you really want. Experience how you separate having a career from a true calling, a vocation. Experience for yourself the value of taking a career aptitude test, a personality test, to figure out what you really want to do, to figure out how your personality and your experiences and your aptitude, your attributes can be in direct alignment with either a function within another company or maybe a completely different industry. Experience firsthand how to put together a killer resume. We're going to do that actually. Experience how to totally ace an interview. Experience the power of storytelling in an interview. Experience how to become the go-to guy or the go-to gal in your organization. Experience how to network and job prospect for the job that is right for you. Experience how to navigate these social media platforms and exploit them for what they can do for you in terms of networking and industry intelligence. Experience how to negotiate an employment contract. Experience how to handle an annual performance review, and experience how to handle a boss. Okay, I'm not going to teach you anything in this series. Coaching is not instruction. It's not mentoring. It's not teaching. Coaching is taking someone on a journey of self-discovery so that they can come by themselves to a self-realization that will empower them and enable them to reach new heights that they never thought possible. Because coaching is when it comes from within yourself. It's you that comes up with the solution, and it's you that extremely owns it. We always welcome your questions and feedback at rob@mrfairfax.com, and we want to make this show as interactive as possible. So if you have any tips and tricks or advice for Daniella, shoot me an email. And whenever appropriate, we will work that into the show. So without further ado, I want to introduce our guest for this 10-part series, Daniella Rinaldo from New York City. Daniella, over to you.
Hello. Thank you for such a great introduction. And I'm so excited. Meeting you and working on this and working with you as a life coach, I'm thrilled. I'm 29 years old. I'm going to be 30 on October 13th. Wow. And I am in this situation where I am working and I do love what I do, but I'm still trying to know who am I, right? Yep. And I'm like lost. And I know that a lot of people, especially with, in their 20s, and once you see the big 3-0, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not living in my dream house. I don't even know if the career is the right career. Who am I? And so that's who I am today. And I think that that's just real life. How many times do you ask someone, hey, how's work? How's life? Oh, everything is great. Life is great. Everything is perfect. When in reality, it's not. right? And so that's why I need to really have this self-discovery of who I am and how I can get a future out of what my accomplishments are and my goal. And I guess that's something that you will be able to help me with and guide
Absolutely.
me. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I want to use my previous experiences in finding who I am. And like you said, am I in the right career, or am I able to do what I'm doing now with my role, but maybe somewhere else? And that's something that I'm trying to really navigate, because I come from a background of going to LaGuardia High School Performing Arts, and I was a singer, and I trained with a coach singing opera at Juilliard. I didn't go there, but I did train there and I loved it. And I also had a tennis background. And then I went to Fairfield University and I did media and business, and I had a goal and a dream of being a broadcaster.
Right.
And now I am in human resources, business development as a regional manager for urgent cares. So who am I? Where
Right.
is my artsiness coming into play? Where is my background, my personality? Right now I feel stuck. And when I
Yeah.
tell my friends about my role, they're like, you know what? And everyone calls me D, right? They're like, D, are you in the right position? I mean, I know you say you love your job, but where are you leading? What's your goal?
Yeah.
And so I feel like I manifested in meeting you, and here I am, and I'm so thrilled, really excited.
Well, great. Yeah. So that's what coaching is all about. Coaching is not me consulting with you. It's not me teaching you. It's not even me instructing you. I'm like a facilitator. So I totally get where you are at this point, and any preconceived notions of where you'll be at the end of a year, at the end of this coaching experience, you just don't know. It's probably going to be in a different place than you think you're going to end up right now as you sit there and think about where will I end up? Because the powerful thing about coaching, and why I love coaching, is that you're going to come up with a solution. Daniella is going to come up with a solution, and you're going to own it. As you can see that book right behind me,
Extreme ownership.
right? You're going to extremely own everything you do. I'm just a facilitator. I'm not going to be giving you the benefit of my experiences and what I think. It's irrelevant. Okay. This is all about Daniella Rinaldo. Okay. This is about you. So I'm a trained coach. I know how to do this. I've done it with hundreds of people. I've done it from everybody from insurance executives to sheikhs over in UAE. Okay. So everyone's different, and everyone ends up in a different place. So a couple of things I want to get squared away before we get started is that, so just keep in mind that I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not your doctor. So anything we talk about is in the realm of executive coaching. So,
Right.
I can't take responsibility for that. I don't prescribe drugs. I don't do behavioral therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm strictly a coach. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing this. It's going to be informative. It's going to be inspiring. It's going to be entertaining. You've got a hell of a lot of potential. I'm looking forward to this. So I'm going to ask you a few questions first to sort of get things going. But I mean, how do you feel about coaching in general? And do you understand the difference between coaching and me being a consultant?
Yes, I've never been coached before, and
Okay.
I know that I'll be learning through the process, this 10-week process, which I'm super thrilled about. Do you want to explain maybe a little bit with the difference, just so I can further answer?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just me getting you to talk about yourself, because you have the answers deep inside of you right now. You have the perfect plan is inside of you. You just don't know it yet.
Right.
Okay. So that's what we're going to try and do. And for our audience is going to have a good time because they're going to learn a lot of stuff too. And they may pick up some things that I don't pick up on. That's why I ask people to, I want audience comments. I want the emails, because this should be an interactive process and everybody can get involved because it's just facilitating, you know what I mean? Nobody's going to tell you what to do. We're all going to say, hey, what if, so what are some goals that you would like to accomplish today,
Today,
Yeah.
I really just want to show everyone and even the audience how this is not just me being someone who I'm not. What you
Mhm.
see is what you get.
Right.
And being coached with an audience, it's nerve-wracking, right?
Exactly.
I'm over here like, oh, I don't want to say that, or oh, but in reality, no one is perfect. And I am not going to be doing this show as a perfect person who is trying to be on like camera. And I want you to work on, I need help from the
Yeah.
outside world
Got
to
it.
help guide me
Right.
in finding who I am. And so the feedback, whether it's negative feedback, positive feedback, hopefully more positive than negative, right? Because everyone's so quick to judge. But I really want to like find myself. And right now, and I mentioned it before, I'm in this bubble where I have so much energy and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I think what we have to do is, well, that's a good statement. So do you feel like right now you're a little bit overwhelmed with a lot of input, with a lot of activities, a lot of things at work that prevent you from really learning how to be still and thinking inwardly?
I think that right now, I'm stuck because I feel that there's more for me to offer, but I have my hands tied. And so I'm not, if I'm answering this correctly, it's not that I don't feel overwhelmed and I don't feel challenged. And so, am I answering correctly?
Yeah, so what you're saying then is you don't necessarily feel like you're overwhelmed, you just don't know where to go.
Right. I don't
Is
know
that
where
right?
to go. My hands are tied. It's like I feel like I've reached my peak. When I was doing when I did my interview for this position, I gave them my goal, which was I will observe the company, see how all the locations are running, create systems, procedures, make sure that everything is running properly. And my boss actually said in the interview, so do you think that in maybe 3-4 months, you'll be able to run all of the offices, be in the Bahamas and be sipping on like a pina colada? And I said, maybe not in 3 months, but maybe in 5 to 6 months. I mean, there were 3 locations that we started with.
Yeah.
And now I've reached that. I'm able to work from home. I'm able to go away and my
Yeah.
office and the offices are running great.
So
But
you're
what more can I do? Right?
so you're thinking about what's next,
What's next?
right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Have you had the necessary time and the necessary tools to really sit down and think to yourself, what is next? And who do I want to be?
I have. And that's where I am today. And I'm stuck.
I got you. Okay.
And I need help. I need guidance. And sometimes I even tell my friends, I feel like a little kid, right? When you needed your mommy and daddy to hold your hand to go to the next step.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And it's scary because I am 29. And like I keep on saying, I am going to be 30. And my friends who have turned 30, they're like, Daniella, it's scary, right? And so I feel that I need a holding hand. And I'm not a child, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's
But do you have anybody's hand that you could hold that can, you can bounce ideas off or talk about, who am I and to have a real honest discussion, because it has to be somebody that's totally non-judgmental. And I realize a lot of friends can be judgmental. So is that part of the issue, you think, that you really haven't found like a professional maybe that you could really sit down and guide you?
I do. I do think that. I think that unfortunately, sometimes people they jump to the negative rather
Mhm.
than seeing the light of things. And even when I started mentioning this experience, it was like, oh, well, where does it lead? Oh, will you get somewhere? Oh, this. And it's like, why can't you just say, wow, this is really great, Daniela, good luck finding who you are. I think it's time that you have your self-discovery. And so it is hard because sometimes you feel alone.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's
and
a
I
very
have
judgmental world. Yeah.
Yes, and I have supportive friends, and my family, oh my gosh, they're so loving and they want the best for me. But at the end of the day, it's me, right? I have to
Right.
find my self-discovery, and I need to really self-reflect and see
Yeah.
who I am, right?
Yeah, looking in the mirror is very difficult, very, very difficult. So, have you, who do you want to be? I mean, if I asked you that question now without any facilitation, and you could, let's say you're your 80-year-old self, okay? So Daniella is 80 years old now, okay? Now, looking back, who would you want to be? Okay.
80 years old, reflecting on that. What do I love to do? I love interacting with people, observing them, and making a difference in their lives and helping them and guiding them. And if I can be sitting in my chair at 80 years old, speaking to my grandchildren,
Right.
I would want to reflect on those individuals who I really impacted in a positive way.
Right.
That's who I am. It's not that story of, yes, I ran this multi-million-dollar corporate company with a suit and tie, and that's not who I am.
Right.
I love life. I love people. I see the good and the bad. Even if you give me the worst person ever, I will promise you I will find a positive. I mean, I'll try, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to see the light in things. So I think that's who I would want to be. I mean, if you're looking for someone that is just shooting for, I don't know. I really have to reflect on that more, but it's really who you impact, how people will remember me.
Yeah. Yeah. How would you describe your personality?
I am outgoing. I'm positive. I'm very, very positive. I'm goofy. I love interacting with everyone. Yeah, that's who I am. I'm loving, but I'm also a perfectionist, and I think it can be a flaw because nothing is ever good enough, or I can't reach the next level until everything is perfect.
Yeah.
And I need to learn how to go with the flow of things. Not everything is planned.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself intellectually curious about things, always wanting to experience new things?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. It seems like you have a very interesting background. So you were at the Juilliard studying opera, and you studied music in college. I mean, what happened to your music career?
So going to LaGuardia, it was an amazing experience. It was a lot of pressure because you weren't just there trying to find your career, but you also had to have a certain point average in order to be auditioning for the shows. And it was a lot of pressure. And you learn to never judge a book by its cover because everyone was more talented by the next. And it was the hidden talent. And when I auditioned with Christina Aguilera. I was singing Whitney Houston, Celine Dion. And then I will never forget this. They told me, okay, we're singing classical music. And I'm thinking, classical music? I've never sang classical music. That wasn't my passion.
Wow.
And that's how we had to train. And when I had to sing my first classical piece, I wasn't belting. I didn't have my powerful voice. I thought that I sounded so weak and I was so nervous. And I was excited because I then did get a coach from Juilliard and I started singing opera, and I found that, wow, my voice is actually more powerful singing opera, but I lost my passion because that's not who I was. And that's one thing that I learned. It's that you may be more talented than the person sitting next to you. But if that person has more of a passion than you, she or he will be more successful, because there's so much raw talent out there. But if you don't have that passion, and so
How did you
that's,
lose how did you lose the passion?
I lost the passion because it was a lot of pressure to sing classical music and opera, and that's what you had to learn, which was the right way to be trained, but it sucked that strength out of me. It sucked
Sucks your
like,
energy out of you. Yeah.
took the energy out of me. I couldn't, before I used to go to sing karaoke and I would sing Christina Aguilera, Celine Dion, Alicia Keys. I was so excited. My friends would be like, yeah, Danielle, let's sing it. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't go to karaoke and now sing opera or classical music. That's not me. So I kind of lost a bit of who I was.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's good that you get off the train and didn't torture yourself.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I had an agent, and I actually auditioned for a High School Musical, and I was runner up. I mean, I think, yeah, Vanessa Hudgens, I remember she was auditioning, and
No, really. So you had some
yeah.
serious competition.
Oh my gosh, I know. And I had no idea who she was at that time, right? But that was the life. It's very hard. The artsy life is hard.
Yeah. How do you feel about extreme competition?
It's weird, because I feel that a lot of people, when they say competition, they have to be better than that person sitting in front of them. That's their true competition. And I hear it all the time. Oh no, I have to be number one. I'm number two. No, I have to beat that person. I have to beat that person. No one is ever satisfied with competing within themselves. And even if they say that they are, I don't believe it.
That's a
And
very interesting point, because I was going to ask you, is it more important for you to be the best of the best, or is it more important for you to be the best that Daniella can be?
I want to be the best Daniella that I can be. I really don't, there's always going to be someone prettier, smarter, richer. That will always be.
Yeah.
But if you're always going to compete with that, you lose who you are.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Very,
I don't really compete with anyone. I can't. I need to compete within myself, and not even compete within myself, because sometimes I feel like competing is a negative word, right? You're competing, you have to beat them. I don't want to beat myself down. I want to grow. I want to like encourage myself. So rather than competing, it's more of like an encouragement. And that's who I am. And I also, that's another thing which I'm finding who I am. I thrive with encouraging others and seeing them succeed.
yeah. No, I think that's very powerful, because if you're competing against other people, you're always chasing the train that just left the station, you know?
Right.
So the whole point of coaching actually is in direct alignment with what you just said. So I'm happy to hear that, because coaching is all about taking you on this journey of self-discovery so that you can come to a self-realization of who you really are, what your strengths really are, what the best place for you would be. And then we get you to self-actualization, which is the execution. And all we're trying to do is get Daniella to be the best version of Daniella that will make you happy, empowered, enabled, so that you can get that special job at the end of the rainbow. And we start to get into also life coaching a little bit, because it's hard to separate career from life coaching. So we'll be doing a little bit of that. But so I've been carefully listening to everything that you've been saying, and I appreciate all that. I'm thinking now, do you think it will be worthwhile for you to really start to delve into who you really are? Because it sounds like you still have some question marks there. We can come up with some strategies that I can recommend and suggest, because again, this is all about you, not me, that will, help you gain a further understanding and realization of who Daniella is. Is that something that you think would be valuable to you, or what?
Rob, you couldn't have hit it better. Self-discovery and finding who I am, and through life coaching, that is everything that I want to dive into. To be
Right.
very honest, I need to. I'm in that time in my life where I have so many questions. I know who I am. What you see is what you get. But also, if I really knew who I was, why do I have so many questions? And I can be confident in certain ways, but I still have those insecurities of, why am I not happy with where I am today? I don't even know it's not that I don't know what I want to be. I just don't know. I don't know. And that's what I want to discover. And
Good.
I don't want just anything just to get a paycheck and come back and be miserable. I feel like I have more to offer. Some people like the 9 to 5. Some people like that corporate life, or
Yeah.
they only want that dollar bill. But
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to make money? Of course you do, right? But
I got it. Right. So in order for us to figure out, well, in order for you to figure out what you want to do, you have to figure out who you are first. So I'm just thinking through this on the fly here. I'm thinking maybe what we need to do, and let me throw this at you.
Okay.
Tell me what you think. Have you take a personality test, which will give you insight into who you are from a personality standpoint: extroverted, introverted, insightful, compatible, incompatible, impatient, patient, all these sorts of personalities. Do you think that would be helpful for
I
you?
think that would be amazing. Yes. Because
Okay.
I'm sure that I'll probably find some results that I will be shocked to
So
see.
what we'll do, and then there's, okay, so is that something that you can commit to doing? If I provide you with the test, is that something that you can commit to having fully completed and sent back to me prior to next show?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm committed 100%.
Okay,
Send them over, Rob.
because coaching is all about commitment. It's all about it's all about that book behind me. It's about extreme ownership and having accountability for everything that you do in coaching. Because if you commit to do something and you don't follow through, our arrangement's not going to work. Okay, so I will send you a personality test. I can provide you with a link to take a career aptitude test, a career satisfaction test.
Okay.
And that will provide us a lot of good data points on, based upon your answers, what sort of a career you may be interested in. Okay, whether it's sales or marketing or hospitality or technology or construction or consulting, whatever it is, it's going to give us some really good data points. Is that something you'd be interested in doing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, I'll send you that test as well. And then the third one, I like to do things in threes, as you'll find
Yeah.
out, is that there's another assessment test that I can send to you. It's really going to tell you who you are. As a matter of fact, the name of the assessment is, Who Am I? And based upon all those questions, we'll get a lot more data points to figure out. And then if you could, if you could commit to do all three of those assessments between now and next week, I think we're good to go. What do you think?
I think that will be great. And I think that you might see the extreme ownership book behind me as well.
I'll have to get Jocko Willin on the show, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Oh
stranger
my
things
God.
have happened, you know.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, this is all about extreme ownership. It's about accountability. It's about just me not being an instructor, not being a consultant, just being a coach, facilitating, enabling, empowering. And the first step again is self-realization. That's why I think these assessment tests are going to be so good. So I'm looking forward to continuing the journey with you.
Me too. I'm so excited. And, you say extreme ownership and commitment, and who better than to be committed to yourself, right? And
Absolutely.
I'm so excited, Rob. I really am. And I know when we've spoken before, I always end up jumping up and down in my seat because I'm so excited, and I'm really excited for this journey.
No, I'm glad to have you on the show. And for all those who are watching and listening out there, we welcome your comments.
Yes, please help me.
Just send it to rob@mrfairfax.com. Again, mrfairfax.com is the largest executive search firm on the East Coast specializing in insurance brokerage. We've placed hundreds and hundreds of people. So yes, we're looking forward. I'm looking forward to continue on this journey. And until next week, be safe and to be continued, as they say.
To be continued. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Daniella.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye.